They conditioned you to believe thinking is natural, that your mind works for you, that intelligence is something you either possess or you don't. All of it is a carefully constructed lie. Your mind has never been yours. From the moment you entered this world, invisible hands shaped how you think, what you question, what you ignore, and what you accept without hesitation. Every belief you hold, every reaction you have, every decision you make, they were installed, programmed, calibrated to keep you predictable, controllable, and weak. This is not conspiracy. This is architecture. The architecture of mental slavery. And the moment you see it, you cannot unsee it. You cannot return to the comfort of ignorance. You can only move forward into a reality most people will never touch. There exists a psychological threshold that separates two types of human beings. On one side, the masses, millions of minds running on autopilot, repeating patterns they never chose, defending beliefs they never questioned, living lives they never designed. On the other side, the few who learned to reprogram themselves, the ones who understood that the mind is not a gift, it is a battleground, and whoever controls it controls everything. You are standing at that threshold right now. What happens next depends entirely on whether you have the capacity to hear what follows. Because once you cross this line, you do not get to go back. Your mind will be permanently altered. Your perception will shift. The world will reveal itself in ways that disturb you, isolate you, and ultimately liberate you. They taught you that emotions are natural, that anger, fear, sadness, and joy simply happen to you, that you are a passenger in your own body, reacting to the world as it unfolds. This is the first and most devastating lie. Emotions are not natural. They are engineered. Every emotional response you have was trained into you through repetition, punishment, and reward. You were taught to feel guilt when you disobey, shame when you fail, fear when you challenge authority, pride when you conform. These are not your emotions. They are tools used to steer you.
Think about it. A child does not feel embarrassment until they are taught that certain behaviors are shameful. A person does not feel inadequate until society defines what adequacy looks like. You do not fear failure until the world convinces you that failure is a mark of worthlessness. Every emotional reaction you experience is the result of conditioning, and conditioning means control. The elite understand this. The powerful understand this. They do not experience emotions the way you do, because they learned early that emotions are levers. When someone makes you angry, they control where your attention goes. When someone makes you afraid, they control what actions you take. When someone makes you feel validated, they control what you believe. The person who controls their emotional triggers controls the game. The person who reacts emotionally is always the one being played. So here is your first realignment. Stop treating your emotions as truth. They are signals. Yes, but signals can be manipulated, distorted, weaponized. A sovereign mind does not suppress emotion. It observes emotion without obeying it. When anger rises, you watch it. When fear whispers, you acknowledge it. But you do not move until you decide to move. Your emotions no longer have veto power over your choices. This is the beginning of psychological independence. Most people spend their entire lives seeking approval, seeking validation, seeking purpose, seeking meaning, seeking connection. And because they seek, they remain dependent. Dependent on the world to tell them they are valuable. Dependent on others to confirm they are worthy. Dependent on external forces to provide direction. This dependency is not accidental. It was designed into you. From childhood, you were rewarded for seeking approval. Teachers praised you when you followed instructions. Parents loved you when you obeyed. Friends accepted you when you conformed. Every time you looked outside yourself for confirmation, the system strengthened its grip. You learned that your value comes from external validation. And once that belief takes root, you spend the rest of your life enslaved to the opinions of others. Here is what they never told you. The need for approval is a trap. It creates a mind that bends, shifts, and contorts itself to fit whatever mold the environment demands. It creates a person who has no center, no foundation, no true self. Just a shape that changes based on who is watching. This is not strength. This is survival, and survival is not power. The Machiavellian reframe is brutal, but necessary. A mind that requires external validation is a mind that can be controlled by anyone willing to give or withhold approval. The moment you stop needing validation, you stop being controllable. People lose their leverage over you. Their praise means nothing. Their criticism means nothing. Their acceptance or rejection means nothing. You exist independently of their perception, and that makes you dangerous. Sovereignty begins the moment you realize you do not need the world to confirm your worth. You stop performing. You stop explaining. You stop justifying. You simply exist, untouched by the noise around you. People will sense this shift. They will try harder to provoke a reaction, to pull you back into the game of approval-seeking, but their attempts will dissolve against your indifference. And in that moment, you will have taken the first step toward true power. Society functions on a single principle. Visibility equals vulnerability. The more people know about you, the more control they have over you. Your thoughts, your plans, your weaknesses, your desires, every piece of information you reveal becomes a weapon someone else can use. This is why the world encourages you to share everything, to post your life online, to express your opinions constantly, to make yourself known. Because a known entity is a controllable entity. Observe the powerful. They do not announce their moves. They do not broadcast their intentions. They do not reveal their strategies. They operate in silence, making decisions behind closed doors, executing plans without warning. By the time the world realizes what happened, the outcome is already inevitable. This is not secrecy for the sake of mystery. This is strategic invisibility. The less people know, the less they can predict. The less they can predict, the less they can counter. Now, apply this to your own life. Every time you announce a goal, you weaken Italiano. Every time you explain your reasoning, you create an opening for doubt. Every time you share your plans, you invite interference. The world does not need to know what you are building. The world does not need to know what you are thinking. The world does not need access to your inner workings. Your silence becomes your armor. Your restraint becomes your advantage. There is a reason why people feel unsettled around those who speak less. Silence creates ambiguity. Ambiguity creates discomfort. Discomfort creates fear. When people cannot read you, they cannot categorize you. When they cannot categorize you, they cannot control you. Your inscrutability becomes a form of dominance. Not loud, not aggressive, just present. Just still. Hustwachink. This does not mean isolation. It means selectivity. You choose what to reveal, when to reveal it, and to whom. Every word you speak is deliberate. Every reaction you show is intentional. You do not spill your thoughts carelessly into conversations. You do not hand people the keys to your psychology. You become a locked door, and only those who prove themselves worthy ever get a glimpse inside. The world rewards those who reveal nothing and see everything. While others talk, you listen. While others react, you calculate. While others scramble for attention, you observe the patterns. You become the person who understands more than they say. An understanding without broadcasting is the purest form of leverage. They told you knowledge is power. That learning makes you strong. That intelligence comes from accumulation. This is partially true, but only partially. Knowledge without application is decoration. It sits in your mind like furniture in an empty house present, but useless. The transformation happens when you stop collecting information and start weaponizing it. Most people read to feel informed. They consume content, memorize facts, repeat ideas they heard somewhere else. They think this makes them intelligent. It does not. It makes them a storage unit for other people's thoughts. True intelligence is not about what you know. It is about what you do with what you know. It is about taking raw information and bending it into a tool that reshapes reality in your favor. Here is the shift. Stop asking, what does this mean? Start asking, how can I use this? Every conversation you have contains leverage. Every book you read contains a strategy. Every observation you make reveals a pattern. The question is whether you recognize it, whether you extract it, whether you deploy it when the moment arrives. Consider human behavior. Most people study psychology to understand others. You study it to predict them. Most people learn about persuasion to communicate better. You learn it to create outcomes without appearing to push. Most people observe social dynamics to fit in. You observe them to identify who holds real power and who is performing. This is not manipulation. This is clarity. And clarity, when applied correctly, becomes control. The world is full of people who cannot see the structure beneath the surface. They see events as random, conflicts as chaotic, success as luck. You see systems. You see cause and effect. You see the invisible incentives driving behavior. You understand that nothing happens by accident. Every action has a motive. Every motive reveals a weakness. Every weakness can be leveraged. This is where intelligence becomes lethal. You stop reacting to the world and start engineering it. You stop letting circumstances dictate your position. You start positioning yourself where circumstances favor you. You stop hoping for opportunities. You create them. You stop waiting for others to move. You move first, silently, with precision, and by the time they notice, the game has already shifted in your direction. Machiavelli understood this deeply. Power does not belong to those with the most resources. It belongs to those who understand how to deploy resources at the exact moment when deployment matters most. A mind that knows when to act, when to wait, when to speak, when to vanish. That mind dominates every environment it enters. Not through force, through timing, through awareness, through strategic patience. You are not here to become smarter. You are here to become sharper. Sharper minds cut through confusion. They see through deception. They recognize leverage before others know it exists. And once your mind becomes a blade, the world stops feeling overwhelming. It starts feeling predictable. And predictability is the death of fear. There is a psychological evolution most people never reach. It is the moment when you stop defending your beliefs and start treating them as temporary tools. Most people cling to their beliefs as if their identity depends on them. And it does. Because they built themselves on ideas they never questioned. They became their opinions, their politics, their worldview. And when someone challenges those beliefs, they feel attacked at the core. This is weakness disguised as conviction. A truly powerful mind holds no belief sacred. It treats every idea as disposable. Useful until it is not. True until proven false. Relevant until conditions change. This does not mean you believe nothing. It means you believe flexibly. You, adaptación. You, pivot. You discard what no longer serves you without hesitation. The world punishes this kind of thinking because it creates unpredictability. People cannot pin you down. They cannot label you. They cannot trap you in contradictions because you do not claim consistency as a virtue. You claim effectiveness, and effectiveness requires the willingness to abandon yesterday's truth when today's reality demands it. This is the Machiavellian mindset. No loyalty to ideas, only loyalty to outcomes. You are not here to be right. You are here. You are here to win. And winning often means thinking in ways that make others uncomfortable. It means holding contradictory perspectives simultaneously. It means seeing value in ideas you do not personally believe. It means using frameworks others consider immoral if those frameworks produce results. People will call this cold. Let them. They are still playing a game where morality is fixed and righteousness is the goal. You are playing a different game entirely. A game where perception is currency, leverage is power, and adaptability is survival. You do not need their approval. You need their inability to predict you. When your mind becomes this fluid, something strange happens. The world stops feeling solid. People stop feeling reliable. Truth stops feeling absolute. Everything becomes contextual, situational, strategic. This is disorienting at first, but once you adjust, it becomes liberating. You are no longer bound by the mental cages society built for you. You move through reality like water, formless, adaptable, unstoppable. You are now in possession of something the world does not want you to have, not the motivational, feel-good kind. The cold, surgical kind. The kind that strips away illusions and reveals the world as it truly is. A place where power flows to those who understand its mechanics. Where influence, belongs to those who master perception, where control is granted to those who remain psychologically untouchable. This knowledge does not make you better. It makes you separate. You will notice the distance growing between you and those still trapped in reactionary thinking. Conversations will feel shallow. People will seem predictable. The games they play will become transparent. You will watch them chase validation, cling to beliefs, react emotionally, and you will feel nothing. Not contempt, not pity, just detachment. This is not arrogance. This is the natural result of mental evolution. When you see the cage, you cannot unsee it. When you understand the conditioning, you cannot be reconditioned. When you recognize the manipulation, you cannot be manipulated. You have crossed a threshold, and there is no returning to the comfort of ignorance. People will sense this shift in you. They will not understand it, but they will feel it. Your presence will become heavier. Your silence will carry weight. Your gaze will unsettle them. They will try to provoke reactions and find none. They will try to impose expectations and watch them slide off you like rain off stone. They will try to guilt you, shame you, pressure you, and discover that none of it works anymore. You have become unmanageable, not rebellious, not defiant, just immune to the emotional levers the world uses to steer people, immune to the narratives that keep others compliant, immune to the fear that makes most minds collapse under pressure. You stand outside the system now, observing Italiano, using it when necessary, but never trapped inside it again. This is the final, the point where intelligence stops being something you pursue and becomes something you embody. Your mind no longer struggles. It calculates. It does not react. It responds. It does not hope. It plans. It does not follow. It directs. You have become the kind of person reality adjusts to, not the kind who adjusts to reality. You do not go back to sleep after this. You only move forward, alone, aware, unbreakable.